All right, let's get into the college football slate here. We are going to look at games on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We are still in the midst of 27 consecutive days of football, and we begin on Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time. This one on CBS Sports Network. Kent State at Bowling Green, 7 p.m. kickoff, as I mentioned, 55.5 total. Kent State, a 2.5-point road favorite here after you went to their friendly confines a week ago, Brett. So how do you like this one?
Is there a little bit of bias in this one? Why I put it on there? Of course there is. I had to talk about Bowling Green at some point this year. This is a really interesting game, probably the best action game on the Wednesday slate. You got Buffalo, Central Michigan, and NIU, Western Michigan. Let's talk about Kent State's top receiver, Dante Cephas. He didn't play last game, and visibly the offense just could not get it going without him. You could tell that Colin Schley didn't have anybody downfield that he could go to, but I haven't heard anything about it because it's incredibly difficult to find injury updates on MAC players, but it kind of points to that he's playing this week, and that's fine. So the Kent State offense should have a bigger rebound this week than they did over last week. But Kent State also plays up and down to their competition. So an example, you look at when they played Georgia and when they played Toledo, they scored a lot of points and they lost close. But then they played Miami, Ohio, and Ball State, where they didn't score a lot of points, and they also lost close. So it's kind of a team that plays to their opponent. If you look at Bowling Green, they're on a 3-game win streak. They have a very good defense. I believe in all-American caliber middle linebacker in Darren Anders, and they also have a terrific defensive lineman, Carl Brooks, who is, I believe, second in the nation in sacks right now, which is great. They have a similar defensive havoc rating to Clemson and Cincinnati, just putting that out there. I know that it's a different set of opponents that they're playing, different competition, but the numbers aren't lying there that they're a very good defense. They are good enough to slow Kent State's offense down. Let's just put that out there. They just are. We've seen in wins this year, in their last 3 wins, Bowling Green is allowing 13.3 points per game and 19.8 points per game in all of their wins. That includes an overtime win against Marshall and another win earlier in the season. In losses, they're allowing almost 47 points per game. And that's tough because they played at Mississippi State. They played UCLA. And then they allowed 59 points to Eastern Kentucky in like 55 overtimes. Their only MAC loss this year, they allowed 38 points to Buffalo. But it's not a surprise to hear that, when they win, they allow fewer points than when they lose. But when you look at the margins in when they win and when they lose, it's very clearly they win on defense and they lose when their defense doesn't show up. Kent State doesn't feel the defense. We know this. They're one of the worst metrically in the entire nation. But Bowling Green's offense really isn't good. They're not a threat to kind of push the ball downfield. They're 119th in overall EPA per play, 127th in rushing, 107th in yards per play. Quarterback Matt McDonald has cut down severely on the turnovers, but he's still not an inspiring quarterback, and he might have the worst throwing motion in the country. It makes my shoulder hurt just watching him. So because we have a good defense and a not as good offense, we're basically playing 2 half teams here. I'm looking to play under 55.5. I think Bowling Green in the Doit in Bowling Green, Ohio can slow down Kent State just enough to where Kent State's not going to be scoring 35, 40 points. And I don't believe Bowling Green is going to be matching either of those numbers either.